Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control in me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you was just a fucked up real bad.
Be the villain! And I have no problem at all, because I couldn't care less if you like me or not. I'm here for success, and there's no one more successful than Grayson Waller.
Yeah! Let me talk to you! War game.
Indeed, let me talk to you. What's going on is the Heel of the Ring Monday Night Raw review here on the BX Sports Jedi Network. Thank you for joining us this Tuesday, the 20th day of December. Joe, wow, 5 days for Christmas. 5 days for Christmas. We're going to put a little holiday music in the background. We're going to review the Monday Night Raw from Des Moines, Iowa, the 19th of December Monday Night Raw edition. Starts off with the Tribal Chief, but before that, the Wise Man, Paul Heyman, cuts a promo introducing none other than our undisputed champion, Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns, like a boss, sitting there in his chair, mafia style, says that Kevin Owens stick his nose in his business coming into SmackDown and bringing John Cena, all people, setting up that big tag team match in Tampa, about right in my backyard here in Tampa, Florida, about 45 to an hour away from the Jedi Network studios in Orlando, Florida. And he says Raw is going to pay for it. All the talents, every person in Raw, he's going to unleash havoc with the Bloodline. And as soon as he says that, boom, we get, I love it. I love the fact here with the way it opened up. Hot start for Monday Night Raw, in my opinion. Seeing the Bloodline with the selfies, and it wasn't a WWE camera production where the cameramen are, oh look, they happen to find it. No, it felt very organic. The way they presented it is Jimmy and Jay, they were on the selfie sticks. You see Solo Sikoa beating the living crap out of a talent, as well as Mustafa Ali, getting their doors clocked in and causing havoc. What a start there for Monday Night Raw. Bloodline giving you a little bit of a statement. So I was like, "Woo, okay." And right there we get to the introduction, the Monday Night Raw intro, of course, going into that, and then we get into our very first match of the night, and there's gonna be Street Profits taking on Judgment Day. Now, this was a 6-man tag here, good 6-man tag, back and forth action. Of course, always good to see the Street Profits in. The match was great. Damian Priest, I've been noticing little by little the way he's been showcased of being the big power, the big, and of course the guy is biggest. He's tall. He's their muscle, but his powerhouse, and he's looking stronger. It looks like he's been hitting the weights, beefing up in the right way. Finn Bálor, always a good worker in the ring. And the Dominic Mysterio still has some issues with his eyes. You see that Kagawa throws a drink in Dominic's eye, still with the mist from last week. And of course, they made it played out that there's like some kind of alcohol content or vodka in there that kept burning his eyes. Poor Dominic, can't catch a break. That was the whole setup there, which Rhea Ripley, that's her boy toy. She's trying to protect and watch over Dominic Mysterio. And of course, I love that back and forth there. We get the victory from the Street Profits. They get the win. And of course, they celebrate in Street Profits fashion with Hagawa. I got to say something. Akira Hagawa, I like the fact he got rid of got that gimmick, changed that stereotypical ring gear, the gi. And now, you see the blonde hair, Hagawa. I know we remember him as in that 24/7 back and forth, comedy routine. But if you have a chance, go to NXT Cruiserweight Classic, and he did a moonsault off. Oh my goodness, on the table, and check out his match in that Cruiserweight Classic. Kudos to my main man Pete, producer Pete on the show, who put me onto that, and he told me, hey, look at Tozawa. He could go, and I'm going to give him credit on that. So thank you, Pete, for nudging me in the right way into the Tozawa bandwagon there. He could go there. Of course, you see him celebrating, and then Rhea Ripley just totally loses it, goes after Hagawa, challenge him to a match. So we haven't had an intergender match probably since China against Jeff Jarrett or Jericho, one or the other, for the Intercontinental title. And boom, and Street Profits said, you know what, go for it, do it. And of course, you have a match, first intergender match. But before we even get to that match, in between the Street Profit match, along with Judgment Day, we also had another interruption. I love that they did like a picture-in-picture interruption in the back, and you saw Bloodline, Sami Zayn, the whole Bloodline there being led, beating the living crap out of Andre Chase. Yes, NXT's Andre Chase was wrestling in the main event, the pre-show before Monday Night Raw, and him for being in the wrong place at the wrong time, he got his rear end kicked. To me, that was an early Christmas present. I do like Andre Chase. That's a whole joke. Everybody who knows me from the NXT group knows that joke about it. Not a big fan of Chase U University. I don't like them. Their flags waving in front of my face. That's the reason why I don't like them. But my point is, Andre Chase gets the living crap beat up by the Bloodline, as well as Elias. Elias gets the guitar shot over his head, causing havoc. Again, being filmed by the Bloodline, sending the video footages to the WWE truck or whoever was in charge of that. And so the established part here, before the intergender match, Bloodline is causing havoc. So they're going to be a problem all night long for WWE officials. And then we finally get the intergender match. Of course, you get a really good intergender match. I know that's something that WWE don't want to do more often. I know AAA has the intergender champions. I know that the MLW does that. I know other wrestling organizations do that. WWE doesn't want to go that route. I understand why. You don't want to see it. Who wants to see a Braun Strowman throwing a fist, at a lady's head or whatever the case is, or smash, But they did that intergender match. It was a wrestling match. Good. And I think they picked the right two people. I know, and Tozawa is not there to be a jobber though, but this was a safe match. You saw some roll-ups, you saw some good moves. I like the fact that it was pure wrestling. There was no really open hand punches or slaps. Although Rhea Ripley looks more and more like a badass. Excuse my French. Rhea Ripley looks like $1 million. They're gonna ready. You could tell she's gonna headline WrestleMania coming up, possibly win the Royal Rumble. I wouldn't be surprised if Rhea Ripley is the winner of the Royal Rumble already, just to show that dominance of a lady that she is, and a great worker. My God, one of the best things they did was separate her from Liv Morgan, and Liv did her well herself. She went on and won the title this year in 2022. But Rhea Ripley just keeps ascending. She is the star there of Judgment Day. She is the straw that moves that drink in that group. And of course, she gets the victory on Hagawa, hitting with the riptide a couple times, and finally gets the victory there. And you know what? It was a good, clean match. Good match there between them. I really enjoyed it. of course, you start seeing the remnants of her being dominant. Then we go and we have we go back and we have a match here. We're gonna get to see the OCs taking on the Alpha Academy. Now, this match here, the OCs, Alpha Academy, the crowd, you could tell the crowd. I know the OCs came out first when Otis and Gable came out. The crowd loved them. They're one of those heels that are so over with their gimmick that they actually, people want to see them. And I know that Gables and Otis Alpha Academy have not won a match in quite some time as a tag team. We saw some recent success from Otis as well as Chad Gables, but as a tag team together, don't remember them winning. And people like to see them work. Personally, I can't wait for either as a tag team or as an individual gets that push that they need. Especially in 2023, can Chad Gables get that push where he becomes an upper mid card, getting that United States title picture. Right now, that's a little bit of a log jam. So it'll be interesting to see, if they separate the tag team titles, there could be in the picture where they could possibly hold the tag titles for a bit. We will see in 2023 a lot of stories, a lot of uncertainties, but they're so over. The match was good. The Good Brothers maintained the upper hand until they they went, of course, the breaks. After they come from the break, you saw Gable, the shift of power of Gable and Otis coming in, working clean tag, setting us up for an Anderson to get that hot tag. So like that, when he could go running wild, he gets the hot tag. You know how it goes in tag team wrestling. The OCs were able to score a win with the Magic Killer. They did the Magic Killer. And the tag match was a pretty good match. You can never have a bad match with at least all four. I really enjoyed seeing this group in there, this match. The one thing I'm going to say, the crowd getting behind these performers were a little bit all night, a little bit fatigued. I don't know. And this is a criticism I'm going to throw out there. I think it has to do with the WWE production. I'm not saying the whole show. I'm talking about security. When it comes to the WWE security, when it comes to them, they don't allow certain things. When Monday Night Raw, when the Raw Wars, Monday Night Wars, you had everyone with a bunch of signs going crazy, cheering. They kind of put away the sign, allow you to bring your signs. You still see signs in the arenas, but they're more censored. Certain fans want to get up and clap, get up on their seats. You see the security guard tells them to sit down and get down. They want a crowd. It seems like they want a melatonin crowd, and doesn't look aesthetically well in camera on TV. Listen, they had SmackDown and Raw in Pittsburgh, and I'm gonna tell you something. Those crowds look boring and dead for both of them. That's what the aesthetics looked on TV, guys. And if I know folks that were in Pittsburgh, I apologize if it sounds that I am throwing shade at your city, the way you watch an event. But I'm telling you what it looks like on our end at home, as the viewing audience at home. You guys in Pittsburgh looked dead, and some parts the Des Moines, Iowa crowd looked dead. And we'll get into more of the crowd later on. But when Sami Zayn, and of course you have interruption, the Gallows get jumped by the Usos. They get in the ring, they beat them up. They get obliterated there. Of course, you have the officials come out. Adam Pearce with some officials coming to the ring. Usos cut a promo, says they want to hear, Sami Zayn, the crowd wants to hear us. They want to hear what we got to say. That's when the crowd popped. They got a good ovation. They got a good roll there, which was okay there. You have a pulse. I thought the wrestling crowd could be better. I don't know if it's a WWE thing. Again, being one person who goes, myself, my wife, and a few, and most of them, you could say most of the guys in the Heal the Ring podcast, we go week after week to the NXT. We're in the Performance Center. We're part of the NXT taping, the NXT audience, and we are loud. We are loud. We cheer, we chant. We make our, we let our voices known which wrestler we're behind. We clap. We appreciate the wrestlers and their performance. But there is one thing I do say: they're very, very, very stringent of what signs, what shirt you wear, what stuff you have, And of course, they all. This is a plus. It's a first come first basis pro show that you're allowed to come on. You don't go in and you don't be, when you go to someone's house, you don't go disrespectful. I understand you don't go with an AEW shirt. You're not gonna go there with a Scissor Me Daddy shirt in a WWE show, especially gonna be on live TV. You're not gonna have a sign with profanity, but they don't want certain signs, certain things, because they will take them away from you. And I think that's what's happening with these events around the country. That's just my opinion. I have not been to any events outside of Orlando, quite some time, and I can't tell you if that's the same. But what it looks like on TV, because again, I mean, there's some good. They really got some good performers. They don't botch unless if you're top dollar, but that's for another day. And they don't have botches. They're good matches. They're fun. They have storylines to it. They build up here, and sometimes the crowd don't appreciate it or don't respond what the product is on. And it's not, and of course it's not repeat matches either. That was one of the big arguments from some of you wrestling fans where, WWE does a lot of repeat matches, disqualifications, 50-50 booking. I remember I had guests here that always complain about it as part of the heel ring, and WWE doesn't do that. There's a storyline, there's something going on, ever since Triple H, Paul Levesque taken over, it's changed, and the crowds sometimes they don't deserve to see that kind of wrestling at that moment. But again, it could be back to the Monday Night Raw review. Bloodline, after they come back from the commercial break, Bloodline is in there as they try to get them out of the arena to clear it out. Out of nowhere comes AJ Styles flying in and just comes out with the phenomenal forearm, hits Sami Zayn, and of course he wants a match against Sami Zayn. And boom, they're going to, you want a match? You're going to have a match. So AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, that's it for later on in the evening. Then, of course, we see MVP comes out, wanted to have a conversation with Adam Pearce. Remember last week, Adam Pearce fired Bobby Lashley, but then that was rescinded. And of course, Bobby Lashley, they said they worked things out. And MVP wanted to have a conversation, and then he gets interrupted. Something's going down in the loading dock area. More havoc, more chaos, more pandemonium. This reminds me of the Monday Night Raw, the Attitude Era with all the backstage and all the brawls. It was something good. I mean, I enjoyed it. And remember, they have to fill in for a 3-hour show there and excitement. It's just not, they give you match after match after match. It could get stale. They're trying to give you some excitement, and also there's Easter eggs on all these type of backstage promos or vignettes or cuts, and then you're engaged. You're watching every second of Monday Night Raw. You go, we find what happened backstage. You see that guys were hurt again, Ziggler, and you seen, I think it was Apollo Crew, looked like it was like an Apollo Crew sighting in the back there. And he said, what do you think it was? They interviewed him and said, what do you think it was? It was the Bloodline attacking. So Bloodline is causing havoc up and down the arena, and looks like they want to make Pearce just boil into like lose it. But we move on from there. We get the ladder match. Here. Miz takes on Dexter Lumis. The winner, double or nothing for money. There was a 2 beautiful briefcase full of money, suspended high like a Money in the Bank type of deal. The winner, of course, climb up the ladder, get the money, and you win. The match between the two, the A-lister and Dexter Lumis, was a pretty good match. I know people are a little bit confused or tired of this kind of a feud because it's been leading with Dexter stalking. It's been over a few months now. And finally, we once you think we have a payoff here, we have a little bit of swerve action there. You see Miz faking out the crowd. He was looking for a table. The crowd thought it was cheering for tables. If you already had ladders all over the place, they wanted tables. And Miz fakes the crowd and puts the table back underneath. And talk about getting some heat and being a total heel. That is what the Miz does, trolling. Of course, you had Dexter Lumis come off the. He had a spot there where he was on top of the ladder and he wanted to go with a leg drop onto the announce table. We had the Miz just moved at the last second and he goes right through there on his way. And Miz about to climb that ladder to get that money. Dexter Lumis ditch effort comes in. Of course, Johnny Gargano gets knocked out where Miz gets him and hits him with the ladder and knocks him out cold. Then Miz is about to get on that, and of course Lumis stops him. Back and forth. He knocks Miz off the ladder. Here comes Dexter Lumis. We're gonna have a merry Merry Christmas for Dexter and the Garganos, and they look like they're about to give money out to the crowd when he's about to undo, and boom, out of nowhere, a WWE rehired or brought back. Triple H brings Bronson Reed back. Bronson Reed, former NXT North American champion. It's a big guy. He's considered the modern day type of Vader. You know, that kind of built stature who could really wrestle. He was in New Japan. He had a match, I believe, with Okada recently, and he's back into the WWE. Bronson Reed returns, part of Miz is stable to help him. Now, it'll be interesting now because we all know what he bought in Ciampa, and of course Ciampa's out with a hip surgery. Wonder how they're gonna bring that into that storyline. We know that Ciampa has a lot of history with Gargano, DIY, and also Dexter Lumis. So that's a click there. It'll be interesting to see how they're going to write this. But it looks like we're going to have more storyline. Now it's going to lead to Bronson Reed now being part of Miz's henchman, or maybe he got paid to be a enforcer to help him with that ladder match to recuperate that money. Who knows there? And maybe, and now we'll see now tag team probably, Lumis, Gargano, Miz, Bronson Reed, and then, this storyline is still going to continue. If those that do not like the storyline, I think you're going to have to stomach it for at least another couple of weeks. They have to introduce this character. Now they have to build the storyline with Bronson Reed. It'll be interesting to see but one thing I'm going to tell you, former North American champion, this guy's agile. He's not just a big guy. He's not just a big guy like an Otis. He's guy's agile who could do some moonsaults. He could go. He is another type of Vader type of. If you like the man they call Vader, that's the kind of guy. Keith Lee-ish. Some good wrestling there. McMahon didn't know what to do with him. That's why he was released. Part of the casualty of releases. Didn't have a storyline for him. Triple H, I think, could, and we see he has a storyline there. So it'll be interesting to see that. How they move forward. The crowd for this match was dead. We were talking about the crowd. The crowd was dead on. And usually, whenever you do a ladder match, God, people are into it. They love it. The only part they really got popped was for the table. When they thought Miz was going to take a table out, they wanted tables, and other than that, they were like, I don't know if it was they were hungry. They were there for the main event, and there was just maybe too much wrestling before. It's a 3-hour show plus an hour of main event, and maybe another dark match before the main event. So you're looking at almost, and they when we tend to criticize AEW for making a long night as well when they record, Dynamite. Then they record Rampage, and sometimes they give you some dark matches. So that's a long event as well. But they were just not into this match too much. It didn't seem on TV. The crowd. I love the fact that they mentioned Bronson, where he came from, the broadcasting. Also, watching it at home and it's easier said than done. But let's face it, Kevin Patrick is too melatonin for certain events. When it comes to Monday Night Raw, he is too melatonin. I understand he wants to be calm, cool, collective on the collective, and he doesn't get too much back and forth with Corey Graves. See, that was one thing that made the wrestling broadcast between the announcers and the co-announcers were they would go a little back and forth banter. You had Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan back and forth going at it. Would you stop? And of course, Bobby the Brain with his singers, that worked. The same thing with Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. That back and forth, that became friendship, but that we all knew Lawler were pro heel and And JR will get upset and, oh, that son of a gun, and that worked. That was exciting. Vince McMahon, when he was on commentary, he also there with the Macho Man and back and forth. There was that back and forth banter, and you need that back and forth relay banter. You also see that, and the only time you don't see the back and forth banter but complimentary is McAfee and Michael Cole. Now that's a nice dynamic. They work together. They work well. That makes a good dynamic. They work phenomenal. Now, Patrick, maybe they need some more time for chemistry. Corey Graves and Patrick, they don't seem to mesh. I like Byron Saxton with Corey Graves, and I know that Jimmy isn't there no more. That's another. I know he's not there, but they need that buffer in between. I don't know if you could bring Byron Saxton back with those two. It might not work. Kevin Patrick is too monotone, and we need to get him either back to the sideline, or they need someone with some flair, some flamboyance as a commentator in there, because it's too monotone. Corey Graves tries to irk him, and he's too, I'm sorry, too passive. That's just us viewing at home, but he also has to make the show more interesting. And of course, so we'll take a quick break, because I gotta let my dog out for a moment. And we'll take a quick break. While we take a quick break there, there go. Never mind, the dog be able to get out. So good for my dog to get out. So we'll go back now to the next part here on the Monday Night Raw review. We get the match between AJ Styles and Sami Zayn. Now, this is a match that you could say could have been on a premium live event. This could easily Sami Zayn, AJ Styles. Now, let me ask you this: a year ago. Let's totally be honest, for those who are listening. A year ago, if you would have had this match on, you're like, what the heck? If, it kind of felt like AJ Styles a downgrade. Guess what? Now you have AJ Styles chasing the Bloodline with he has a group of men with the OCs and Mia Yim. Now he wants a part of Roman. You also got Kevin Owens, the chase that Kevin Owens is after. Now you have two opponents for later down the line if you want to do Premium Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber. Those are some fillers to get to WrestleMania. Now he has some obstacles there. And we'll see later on the night, it gets even more juicier, in my opinion. This match was a really good match. Sami Zayn has come a long way on me personally. I wasn't a Sami Zayn fan. I always knew he had the wrestling in him, but everything with the Bloodline, the way he's presented himself, has won me over. And just before the Bloodline, went out from WrestleMania, this WrestleMania, when he fought Johnny Knoxville and took out the whole cast of the Jackass, it was all comedy filler, but he worked so well. He got my respect, because he went over and put over Hollywood talent and made it look entertaining and well. So Sami Zayn has done really well for me. It won me over in this 2022 year. Wasn't a fan of the guy, but now I am. And the match between the Phenomenal One and Sami Zayn, back and forth, it was a fun back and forth battle. You've seen, of course, Sami Zayn getting the upper advantage when you see Solo Sikoa coming down the ramp. AJ Styles gets distracted. The back break for Styles used as a counter. It looked brutal for Zayn. Phenomenal, and he sold it well. I got to tell you, these guys, professionals, sold it well. AJ Styles, what a veteran, not just a veteran, but on his prime. The might say he might be over his prime. I still think he's in his prime, and he's done well. With this group, you get Sami Zayn winning with a Blue Thunder Bomb. I mean, that looked so awesome. I mean, again, a match that could have been on a premium live event was given on a Monday Night Raw. Pretty one, the last one of the year, was phenomenal match there. I watched that match again for the second time. That match I loved it. It was a good match on Monday Night Raw. Probably be the night, one of the best matches of the night, and between him and I was surprised that Sami Zayn got the victory there on the Blue Thunder Bomb for the win. And of course, now you have AJ Styles hunting Roman Reigns in Bloodline. But of course, that I don't know if that would push him in the back of the line after losing to Sami Zayn. But Sami Zayn getting geared up for his tag team match in about another week in Tampa against John Cena in SmackDown. So that'd be fun to see there. We have a match here, another match. I think the second best or a best match with this one to me was Bayley versus Becky Lynch. Now this one here as well, it could have been premium live event. What I want to say about the match, the crowd let the match down. Again, I don't know what it is. WWE, when it comes to the WWE women's wrestling, they're the best in the world. They put on, the ladies, the women of WWE puts on the best wrestling for a women organization. Top notch. And Impact is the second best to me. When it comes to those ladies in Impact women's wrestling, they're right there. WWE is a little bit above the cusp. They're much better. Even NXT women are good. For me, it's WWE, NXT women, Impact Wrestling. To me, those are the three. I haven't watched any of the Noah or anything that's going on in New Japan women. I have not. I'm going to be totally honest. I'm not a fan of the AEW women. I believe everything that we'll leave that for another podcast. But I think this match here was main event quality for a premium live event or any premium live event. They gave us to you on free television, like Jim Cornette likes to say. It delivered an A+ match. Becky Lynch, belly to belly, or from Bayley, getting all those. My God, the moves that Becky Lynch came out. Look at British strong, British style wrestling. Saw some part there where she did a couple leapfrog and some maneuvers. Like, wow, Becky Lynch looks like she was training hard during her hiatus off with the separated shoulder. It looked well. Of course, you had Io and Dakota out on the outside. The referee distraction. The referees got fed up with them kind of interfering. Tried to eject both of the ladies. Of course, the ladies were on their way out for a little bit of distraction. Becky Lynch got distracted for a moment. It allowed Bayley to get the rose plant for the victory. Bayley wins. It was a back and forth. It was a really good fight. Good match. You really guys got to watch it. My words cannot give it justice how good this was. These two haven't worked together since their NXT days. So this is one of the original Horsemen women. They haven't worked together since those days. And you know what? For not being not being in the ring for that long since their NXT days, this was an A+ match. I wish I could give the right words for it. I just gotta say, the only I could say, go see it. You guys gotta go view it because it was a really good match. Really good match. Then we have a sit down in between a promo. I forgot to mention that one. Alexa Bliss with Bianca Belair. Of course, Alexa explaining what happened while she was part of the henchwoman with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, and of course, Bianca's not trusting her. He goes, I get it. She goes, he gets it, but she needs to worry about Alexa Bliss. She was winning titles before Bianca came to WWE. She was a women's champion. She is more dangerous than Bray Wyatt. You got to pay attention to me, which I love that they're setting that up there. Then we see the Bray Wyatt symbol in the background on the television, and out of nowhere, Alexa Bliss just takes the vase and just hits it and cracks the head out of Bianca Belair, knocks her to the ground. And then I just want to put a picture if you watch that. If you look at it and you watch it in real time, you could see that. And of course, good kudos to Twitter for getting this photo out. And you see Lily Doll in the back. So they're teasing a major character change in Alexa Bliss. She might revert back to that character she was under Bray Wyatt, or something similar, or heel, where manipulation they're going to show us later. Maybe they're going to wrestle in the next 2 weeks, not this Monday, the following Monday, I believe it's in Tennessee, Monday Night Raw in Tennessee, and they're gonna have that match there. We'll probably have a watch along to do that, so join us, we'll probably have that wrestling watch along the first of the year, or the review, either or, depending on what we could do there. So I can't hope you guys will watch and join us. And of course, we have the segment promo with Austin Theory and Seth freaking Rollins. Of course, this is hometown of Rollins. He comes out, Theory comes out. I love this back and forth promo too, because it showed that Theory and Rollins was like, you look different. You know, you feel, you know, you look like you're growing up kid. And I love the acknowledgement of, you know, like, oh, you're, you know, dad, kind of like not saying McMahon is around, but daddy's not around. You're growing up. And of course, Austin Theory, the heel that he is, these are two heels, by the way, although Seth freaking Rollins seemed like he's turning face or tweener. He tells you know, don't be mad if you were the least successful Shield member. Ooh, that just irated Seth freaking Rollins. He was going at it, and he still say you still suck, and it was good. It was a back and forth good promo. Then the Usos comes out to try to interfere on them, try to get, and he's like, come on, whoa. There, and of course I love that Rollins says, let's put our difference aside. These guys are out to kick our rear ends. Let's work to, you know, like, we have to defend Raw. Austin Theory, typical heel. I love it. He rolled out, left him to fight for his own. In comes the Usos to attack Seth freaking Rollins, and out comes Kevin Owens to save. And of course they get back and forth, and they're going to set up a match later on. Usos taking on Rollins and Owens. Now, of course, you see the backstage promo before that, where before the match, and of course they make the match, where Owens like, didn't you try to steal my WrestleMania moment? I love the fact that they don't have that short. Remember before, in the day before Vince, whatever happened before, it's like there was no memory. They were like, oh, you know, they don't remember. Now I love the fact where under this new regime, they still remember certain storylines that they had, feuds. I kind of love it. I really enjoy it. This is something different about WWE that I kind of enjoy watching it. It's like, oh yeah, they don't. It's like they don't forget. You know, it's really, to me, it really touched home on me, because it's a continuation. This is a soap opera. This wrestling is a sports entertaining soap opera that we watch. Of course, we have the match there between the Usos, Kevin Owens, Seth freaking Rollins. That is your main event for tonight. Of course, when Rollins flips over the top ropes, takes out the Usos, and Solo Sikoa comes out, of course, interfering. The match back and forth. Kevin Owens totally rocked there. Kevin Owens got the pin. He wins on the pin. He got Jimmy Uso. He got him in a pop-up power slam. Gets the victory. And it's a non-title match, so you don't lose. The Usos don't lose the heat they have as champions. Plus, you got Kevin Owens now beating the 500 plus days champion, pinning them, getting pinned. And now it sets up for Kevin Owens, number one contender. Of course, you still got that match again with John Cena teaming up with Kevin Owens, taking on Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns in Tampa. But I like the fact that Kevin Owens getting the heat there. You saw a part where Kevin Owens was celebrating. Sami Zayn tries to sneak into the ring. Looked like he was going to try to hit him from behind. Kevin Owens turns. They get the face-to-face look. And Sami Zayn backs out, saying, we'll see you next week. We'll see you next week. Now, personally, this storyline could go anywhere. It could be Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn could betrayed Roman to set up defeat on the hands of and Roman Reigns could lose one of the titles. It could be where Sami Zayn will help or Roman win. And really, now you're going to set up Owens and Sami Zayn match, maybe down the line, Elimination Chamber, a Royal Rumble, maybe a Hell in a Cell between those two, because they're talking about bringing some of these pay-per-view Premium Prime event matches that were not standalone and making them part of a match, like Elimination Chamber. It's not going to be just Hell in a Cell is not going to be just a premium live event. It's going to be a part of the event. Or like the Money in the Bank used to be in WrestleMania, they might just keep that. They might go back to that. So who knows? It might be that in the Royal Rumble. We don't know. So could that set up? Anything could set up there. So all in all, I really enjoyed Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, I know some of my friends didn't was like, oh, felt a little stale. One, particular. I was like, give it a minute. It's only 45 minutes in the beginning. Give it some time. I thought it was good. You had backstage brawls. You had chaos, controllable chaos. You had chaos with the Bloodline, setting up a storyline with that chaos. They were out there to beat up everyone on that Monday Night Raw roster. It didn't matter if it was face, it was heel. You're not Bloodline. You were a target, and that's the statement they showed. This is what works with the fashions in the group. Bloodline was out there to take names, and they were beating up people. They were going up with different groups. They went after the OCs. You saw Kevin Owens. You saw Seth Rollins told the Usos to tell the tribal chief, I'm coming for you. This is my show. Monday Night Raw is my show. And setting up maybe after Kevin Owens, in between that WrestleMania, after the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, you might have Rollins taking on Roman Reigns. That works. Or who knows when if Cody returns and setting up that obstacle. That's another storyline there that we have. So Monday Night Raw had a lot of storylines to try to finish the year, but also focus for the new year coming up, especially that Monday Night Raw in Tennessee. And also giving all eyes on SmackDown on the 30th, Friday night the 30th. That's an important SmackDown, not only because John Cena's returning. What's going to happen with now the Bloodline made enemies with a lot of the Raw talent? Will some of the Raw talent retaliate to SmackDown? Could we have now a little bit of a Raw SmackDown going into the Royal Rumble? There's a lot of different storylines that they could go with it. Now with Miz, Bronson Reed, what is that about? Are we going to get some explanation, or they're going to draw it out? What's next from Lumis and Gargano? Are they going to, so there's a lot of nice storylines, refreshing one. Now Street Profits. Where do they go now here with Ogawa? Now that, we saw a little bit of a friendship there. What's going to happen now with Judgment Day and Dominic Mysterio? Are they now, the Dominic one, now the holidays is going to do something stupid to irk or entice Rey Mysterio? His father, was he, we saw it on Thanksgiving. What's going to, we're all going to probably not wait now. I'm pretty sure on Christmas Day, people are going to be refreshing their Twitter to see if they cut a promo, did something, for Christmas. What did Judgment Day do to Mysterio now? That's going to be another interesting aspect to see. So, all in all, Raw was good. This is the Monday Night Raw review. I'm BS Sports Jet. I usually have a panel, usually have a group of guys that we break it down, but everybody's working and recording this a little early to air a little later. So, thank you for joining me here. I got some news and notes. I got a little bit of news and notes. The news and notes, apparently, Kenny Omega, AEW's Kenny Omega, his contract is due or set to expire in February of 2023. There is talks that he may not be resigning with AEW himself. Remember, he is part of the VP role in AEW. He wants to kind of see what the Bucks are going to do, because their contract expires soon. I don't know if due to the suspension or the injuries, they prolonged it. Usually a lot of, depending on the languages of the contract, if they miss them whatever time, they have to add it back and have that serviceable wrestling time. It would be interesting to see but it's a lot of talks that Kenny Omega is going to put some feelers out. Now, for me personally, Kenny Omega, the Bucks, they're mid 30-year-old wrestlers. They're still young. Do they want to make more money? If they were offer more money and not a VP status, you will see them in the WWE. If they're going to have that VP status with the same amount of money or a little bit, then they'll stay in AEW. Wouldn't be surprised if Kenny Omega and the Bucks go back to Japan and have a New Japan run. But it all depends. 2023, 24 is going to be very interesting for AEW. Maybe they want to hold off to see the direction if they don't get a TV deal. Maybe they're writing on the wall. They're hearing that there's no TV deal. They haven't secured it. Could they be bolting out of there? Then, could this be the fall of AEW? We don't know. There's a lot of mystery, especially 2023 has to set up because for the big free agents and MJF possibly leaving the company. So it's interesting to see, where Tony Khan and the AEW group goes from there, especially with Kenny Omega, especially the resurgence of Cody Rhodes in WWE. The way I understand he's injured and out of sight, out of mind, but he was on fire. So let's see if he wins in WrestleMania. The way they built him up at the Rumble, who knows? I think it's a package deal. If you bring Kenny Omega, you bring the Elite. You bring both of them. You bring the Young Bucks, and you make the Elite come up. Especially the way WWE is showing us with six-man tag, a lot of six-man tags. I know they don't have to make a title for it, but they could be a group. New Day. You got the New Day, you got the OCs, you got Judgment Day. You have, you could put Street Profits at times. You could bring a partner with them as well. The Usos with Solo Sikoa. There's a trend going on. Even in NXT, you see the 6-man, you see the trios, you see a lot of that. Could that be a sign that they might be pushing that? Who knows? That's just me. Maybe just me just speculating and seeing there. Also, my final news and note I'm going to put up. It was reported by Mandy Rose's manager. She has, ever since departing the WWE NXT from her release, she has made $500,000 in her fan time account. $500,000. That's after release. So she had $500,000 for Mandy Rose there. And boy, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Do I see her return into WWE? If she's keep making that money, I don't think so. Why would she? Why would she put that aside? In another month or two, or give it 3 months, she could be close to $1 million. To do her fan time account. Also, there's been some reported rumors that Lana, former Rusev, CJ Perry, there's some leaked nudes out there. Some leaked nude photos of her. Now she's the next one count on the scandal there. I don't know if that's a reason why AEW president has not seen Miro on AEW TV. Don't know, because can you put that? That's just speculation. Would you put that past him? They need a TV deal. You got a wrestler with his wife, with the same Mandy Rose situation, with the executive might not be frowned upon, or whatever the case is. Who knows? Who knows these days? Who knows these days? It'll be interesting there. Also, Sasha Banks heading to New Japan, supposedly to wrestle in Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know, of course, Soraya's teasing AEW of the 11th. She'll have a mystery tag team partner. And everyone who's AEW, pro AEW is wishing that it's Sasha Banks. Me, I'm just gonna wait and see. I personally still don't think Sasha Banks steps foot in AEW. But money talks, everything else walks. So we shall see there. But this is the Hill of the Ring podcast. We could follow us on the BX Sports Jedi Network, here on the Twitch, YouTube, Facebook page, anywhere our social media, BX Sports Jedi Network, in the audio platform, anywhere you get your audio platform in audio, from Google Podcast to Apple Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, Anchor FM, you name it. Just put BS Sports Jedi Network, Heal the Ring. We'll have our guys, our normal group of guys that will come in and will review NXT tonight. It is taped. I was there live. I'm not going to give any spoilers. I already know the results. I was there personally, but no spoilers from this guy here. Just watch it. It's going to be fun. And you're going to see me in the front row, and then be right behind Mr. Met. That will be me. So we'll see you guys here. So, of course, from the BX Sports Jedi Network, Heal the Ring podcast. If you ain't down with us, man, we got 2 words for you. Just subscribe. Peace. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas if we don't talk.
Awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up.
Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might grab a bat, I don't know. My rap, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's
won, then I have no problem at all because I couldn't care less if you like me or not. I'm here for success, and there's no one more successful than Grayson Waller.